Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right. Welcome into a Football Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show. Oh, my. We got an actual game, a real game to talk about in the NFL. Oh.
And a good one.
Yeah. Oh, man, was it good. And drama. We have drama. We have Taylor Swift, Brittany Holmes drama.
Oh, my gosh.
My God. Can't wait to talk about that.
I didn't even know they were still together.
Celebrity reporter Ashley is all over that TMZ report. So we got inquiring minds want to know what's going on. What a game last night. Good morning to you, Tim Ham, from our Dallas affiliate, DSP Media. What's up, partner? How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Doing well. Up late, but for all the right reasons. And I'm ready to talk some sports because I was up covering Ravens v. Chiefs.
Of course, yes.
And I've got some things to say about Ravens v. Chiefs.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, I've been watching all the coverage this morning. And the unanimous decision is he still can't get it done in the key spots. Lamar Jackson. He is as good as you get for the majority of the game. He's the reason you're in the game. But when the game is on the line, my man just cannot come up with the big plays. He can't do it.
He also goes by the name Dak Prescott, apparently, when, rolls through town.
Chilling indictment.
Are we doing that now or are we doing that after you finish the intro? Because I got stuff to say.
All right. Well, we'll get right to it. Yeah. So we got plenty of college football. See, I'm sporting my Bulls stuff today because my green and gold. Big game this weekend against Alabama. And USF Twitter is going wild, predicting a big dub. But I think I was corrected yesterday by saying, do they really think they're going to win? And one of my Bulls fans said, no. He messaged me and said, no, we're just having fun with it. When we beat Bama, they're just having fun with it. So that's cool. But hey, you got nothing. It's one of those things you got nothing to lose, bro. You got nothing to lose. You're a program on the rise. You got a Heisman Trophy candidate in Byron Brown. Well, I think he is. He's certainly worthy of it. He's as good a player as anybody. It just doesn't have quite the supporting cast. If he were at a bigger program, yes, he would. There's no question in my mind. But USF doesn't see it that way. They see it as themselves as being able to play with anybody on their best day. And that's what's great about college football and sports in general is you get that opportunity. And they're going to go to Tuscaloosa in front of 101,000 people and give it a shot. And if you're not excited about that as Bulls fans, I know a few fans that are headed over there, then you're crazy. That's what it's all about. Great collegiate atmosphere. So we'll hit that a little bit. Florida's got their future debuting this weekend in terms of starting a game. DJ Lagway, the Gatorade National Player of the Year, who matriculated to Gainesville under the great Sunbelt Billy Napier, will make his first start against Samford, one of those smaller schools that always play scrappy football. And almost had FSU beat a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Not that that's a thing. So we'll get into that as well. Miami is playing a team that has won 13 straight games. 13 straight games by my alma mater, FAMU Rattlers. Strike FAMU. Yes, where I went to journalism school. FAMU under James Colsey, former FSU national champion. Their new coach will go down to Miami, his hometown, and see if they can pull off a stunner.
Are you the most famous alum out of there?
FAMU?
Yeah.
Moi? No, not even close. The Bullet Bob Hayes.
Oh, former Dallas
Cowboy. Yeah, the Bullet Bob Hayes, 100-meter champion, was a FAMU Rattler, and so many more. Yeah, they have a lot of very famous alumni. Ken Riley, Hall of Famer. NFL Hall of Famer, Cincinnati Bengals defensive back is also there. Henry Lawrence, I believe, another Hall of Famer, old Raiders tackle. So yeah, they have a rich tradition of football, winning the HBCU national championship, I think 12 times under Jake Gaither back in the 60s and 70s. They have a rich football tradition, and just have recently returned to winning. So I don't think they're going down to beat Miami, but if they did, that would be quite the show. But
you're the most famous non-athlete alumni then.
No, that's probably still not true. Not even close. Not even close.
Just trying.
So thank you, though. I appreciate it, though. Love my time at FAMU. Journalism classes were fantastic. We had a great teacher. Just really, really enjoyed it over there. And there's two schools have really, they're about a mile apart, FSU and FAMU. You could see Doak Campbell Stadium, you can see Bragg Stadium, and vice versa. I mean, they're right there. And they have a lot of symbiotic relationships with classes and different things. So, and we always used to say this all the time. One of Bobby Bowden's great recruiting advantages was having FAMU nearby, because for a lot of those players, from a social standpoint, they could play major college football, D1 football at Florida State, and enjoy the social atmosphere of a historically black college in FAMU, which they did. They crossed paths all the time. So it's really kind of a cool relationship and always has been. So go Rattlers. I always love cheering on my Rattlers, especially this weekend. So we'll see if they can get it done. So lots to get to in that round, but we're going to start with, and of course, the Bucs. The Bucs have a kind of a big game coming up this weekend as well. We've been talking about that all week long. We'll give you some more today. I want to get into the player props for Buccaneers. I had a lot of success last year betting. Now, there's some new faces. It's a new offense. So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt, but I still think we got a pretty good feel for who's going to do what. And it always seems like a really good opportunity to make some money on those Buccaneer bets. So lots to get to, my friend. And you guys, of course, can join us in the comment section, whatever you want to bring up, thoughts. We got lots to get to. So let's jump into it. I got to get my Facebook right here and get everything going on. So go ahead and give me your thoughts on the game last night, my
Facebook.
Friend.
All right, look, we all knew what Patrick Mahomes was going to look like, right? I mean, he got a little bit of preseason time playing, not much, but he looked true to previous seasons. Week one, he's in midseason form. I feel like the guy's in midseason form all the time, right?
Xavier Worthy's got to help.
And good God, have Tyreek who?
Yeah.
Are they even going to remember Tyreek Hill here by the end of the year?
Wow. Yeah. 29 million less.
Good Lord, that dude's good. I watched a little bit of Texas football back in the day when he was there, but man, maybe it was because Mahomes wasn't throwing him the ball, but
yeah,
God,
exactly.
Dude,
yeah.
That is a future star in the making right there.
And Andy Reid using him, on an end around to score his first touchdown. So, I mean, he's going to get a ton of touches, and he is so explosive. So, yeah, what scares you is how the hell did the Chiefs win it last year with nothing? The receiver spot. Now they got some guys that can actually do something. So continue.
Yeah, no. So, Mahomes looked good. We knew he would. He's got all the weapons back now. Rashee Rice looked amazing, SMU kid here in Dallas. And apparently now his legal problems that stemmed from here in Dallas aren't going to affect him, at least this season, because they have said that he'll be on the field. He's got the full year ahead of him. And that is bad news for the rest of the AFC West and the rest of the AFC, because he put on a show last night.
Yeah, fastest tandem in football, 4.21 for Xavier Worthy and 120 miles an hour for your man. So there you go.
And then I got to get it.
They're pretty good. They're fast. They're very fast.
Now moving over to the Ravens side of it a little bit, Lamar Jackson also appeared to be in midseason form, and he still as inaccurate as ever. Lamar Jackson both single-handedly kept them in the game and single-handedly lost the game for them at the same time. Yep. He missed 3 that I counted wide open receivers in the end zone in the second half, 2 of them in the final drive.
Yeah.
Especially the Zay Flowers one. That was inexcusable, dude. He didn't have anybody within 8 to 10 yards of him, and he threw the ball 8 yards behind him.
I think he said afterwards he was trying to throw it to Bateman. I'm like,
he wasn't even throwing it to Flowers.
What? I don't know what's a bigger indictment, missing Flowers like that badly from an accuracy standpoint, or just missing him by not seeing him like wide open in the back of the end zone.
No, and I feel like all of that is just, look, and I know it's week 1, but you know what? You're the reigning MVP. You're a 2-time MVP. That is one of your biggest criticisms is that you can't win a big game, and it's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they beat the 49ers in San Francisco last year on their, tail end of the season to go off and be the number 1 seed in the AFC, but he laid an egg against the Chiefs in the AFC title game. And Derrick Henry, who was supposed to be their savior, did they just plan on spending all of that money on Derrick Henry to use him as a decoy for Lamar Jackson to run?
That was weird. But, this is something that we talked about going into the game, and they were breaking it down this morning on Get Up, I thought really well, is, these are 2 different types of offenses. Derrick Henry does not run from the shotgun. Mm-hmm. He's an I formation under the center guy, has to, get the ball 5 yards deep, pick his hole, and then slam it in there. Wow, that sounds good. That was almost as good as, thank you. Almost as good as Greenberg yesterday saying Saquon Barkley is like, he's big. He's big all over. He's big everywhere. Like, okay, thank you.
Like he did that on purpose.
I think he did. So it's just a different type of offense. He's not running out of a shotgun where he stands still and then you hand him the ball, kind of a draw, RPO type thing. It's different. And so this he can be absolutely lethal on the bootleg because these are bootleg type plays which I didn't really see much last night. Where they go stretch and then boot it out with Lamar. That seems like should be the basis of their offense. So I think they're just kind of in a hybrid spot right now, and they don't know. And their offensive line, by the way, is not good, as Michael Sorgel points out here. Four illegal formations. That was
okay. Well, that's ticky tack, though. We understand what that is, right? That's a new rule. That's a brand new rule this year.
Yeah, but after one, let's get it together, boys.
That's what you think, and that's what Harbaugh was screaming after the second one on Stanley. Just tell him to move up. Just tell him to move up.
Like, how hard is this?
They do that to receivers all the time. Hey, move up a little bit.
I'm wondering, did they practice? Did they play it all in their number ones play it all in the preseason?
Yeah.
I don't know with the Ravens. I don't know.
Ravens. They did.
So they were calling this in the preseason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crusher. You just can't have that many penalties. There was a couple of big plays that nullified too. Mm-hmm. That seems silly, but. So I think the Ravens are going to be a work in progress offensively with Derrick Henry, as that offensive line is not. It doesn't look like they were moving anybody. And if you're not moving anybody, and you're getting a stalemate at the line of scrimmage, and everybody's in their gaps, there's nowhere for Derrick Henry to run. Yeah. Like he's a guy that needs a little bit of a crease and some movement up front, and he wasn't getting any of that. You heard Taylor Lewan get up this morning, who blocked for him, saying, "Yeah, that's not going to get it." So I think they're in a bit of it's going to take a while for the Ravens, I think, to really get their offense going and to use Derrick Henry to his full potential. That said, Lamar is still, the most dangerous weapon in football, and watching them play was like, this is just the Lamar show. He's going to run around and find guys. And if he can't find anybody, he's just going to run, and he's drop weight. He looks fantastic. Yeah. But in the end, in the NFL, and this is what makes being a quarterback so damn hard, you've got to make those plays at the end, and he's just not able to do it. The pass to Likely on first down from the 10-yard line, he's wide open. It's like
back in the corner of the end zone, yeah,
DJU all over again, except less open. Just loft it up into the open space and let him go get it. It's not a hard throw. It was late. And it was inaccurate. The thing you can't do is give him no chance, which is what you did. He got no chance because the ball was uncatchable out of bounds almost.
The ball was so poorly thrown that Likely almost separated his shoulder trying to catch it.
I know, Jesus. And then the second down play to Zay Flowers is just, how do you miss that throw? How do you miss that throw in that situation? And then the last one to Likely was a great throw. But as Patrick Mahomes said, boy, wear white cleats. It's a little bit harder. It's that thing though, by the way, cleats are like what, that, at the bottom of the shoe, that much, and so sometimes when your foot comes down the other way on the heel, if your toe taps, right, and the heel's over, but not touching, it's good, right?
Yep.
So it's think about it from a physical standpoint. At some point, those cleats touched first, and the toe was out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? You come down like this,
but they treat the heel and the toe differently.
They treat the heel and the toe differently, right? So it's like, we're doing everything by the millimeter. So let's go freeze it where the cleat touches the grass first before the front of the cleat touches out of bounds, right?
If Isaiah Likely wore a size 12 instead of a 15, that'd be a touchdown.
A 12 or 12 and a half. I mean, I think it's the difference right there. But you know what they say about guys with big shoes?
Yeah,
they're out of bounds. You're out of bounds. That's what it is.
He's in the.
Oops. But I mean, the play at the end, and the sad part about that to me, other than the opportunity for the touchdown and the score and more drama, was that John Harbaugh was going to go for 2.
Hell yeah,
to win the game. Did you see that?
Yes.
He was so excited. He ran out there with his fingers up, 2, while they were reviewing it. And we lost the opportunity to see that drama in game 1 of the season. That would have been amazing.
It would have. I was all ready for him. Like, this is what play are they going to run?
God, it would have been Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Michael Sorgel breaks. I don't think so. From as far as how he was running, I don't know.
Or a decoy.
Mike said, I like the Chiefs D, nice lanes, angles, and tackles. Yeah, they look good last night. That Chiefs defense looked really good, especially against the run.
Well, are you aware that the Ravens combined rushed for 185 yards?
Yeah. How much of that? What did Lamar have?
Lamar had 16 carries, 122 yards. Derrick Henry had 13 carries, 46 yards. He had 3.5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And what shocked me is a ton of those runs of Lamar, those were planned runs. Those were called quarterback runs.
Yeah, they were. And if they can marry that with, misdirection with Derrick Henry, they got something there because as a linebacker, you got to wait that extra beat to see if he's going to pull it. And by the time you wait, if he gives it, he's going downhill. And you got to get in front of him, and you can't arm tackle him from the side. You got to meet him head up in the hole. And if Lamar takes it, you're too late to get to the outside. I mean, that's so I'm like, where's the stretch boot? Like every play. If I'm a linebacker, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do this all game. Because you have to. There's going to be no flow to the ball because you have to honor him coming out the back door. There's not a defensive end in football that is going to stop Lamar one-on-one in the open field. That's not happening. So I don't know. They'll get it together and they'll figure it out. But the problem is you lost the game, and this is the key game that's probably going to determine at the end of the season where home field advantage is.
Good.
Kansas City or Baltimore, and that's everything in this rivalry. I think he's only beat him once, and that they've never won in Kansas City.
Yeah, he's 1-4 against straight up against Mahomes.
Yeah,
in his career,
and never won in Kansas City. So,
right.
You don't want to. You want to play there in late January? Good luck.
Last time the Ravens won in Kansas City, JP, was 2012, when you had Matt Castle quarterback in Kansas City.
I was going to guess quarterbacks. I was going to guess the quarterbacks, and that would have been. That would have been Flacco.
Yeah, Flacco and Castle.
Flacco versus I wouldn't have got Matt Castle. I
might
have gone Alex Smith.
Did you hear the Derek Lively quote at the end of the game though in the locker room? It was all over Good Morning Football this morning.
What did he say?
He said, "We didn't play our best football tonight by far."
Yeah, I saw it.
And if that's the best they got for us, good luck in the playoffs. So sending a little message, that, hey, you beat us, but we were right there. And you know what? Good for him.
He's not wrong.
He's gonna make Baltimore forget about Mark Andrews.
In a hurry. Yeah, if you drafted Mark Andrews, which I almost did, he's number 2 now. He's Isaiah Likely. I had one of my props last night was Likely over. It was like 13 yards, I think. Some ridiculous number. I was like, what? Yeah, I'm taking that. Yeah, he's a player. He's a player, no question about it. And he'll replace Mark Andrews. So the Ravens aren't going anywhere. I heard everybody burying them this morning, like, Lamar can't win the big one. It's going to be another, dominant regular season followed by. I mean, let's pump the brakes on that. Every chance he gets, they'll have an opportunity to win games in the playoffs. He's just at some point he's going to have to prove it. And I still think he's got a lot of time left. We'll see. But I would not write off the Ravens. They're still a really good football team.
So I was writing a piece this morning about the Ravens running away with the AFC North because they're by far, and we haven't seen Cincinnati yet, or the new blonde Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But I was looking up some stats, and I was shocked to find out, as good as the Ravens have been with Jackson there, and as terrible as the Steelers have been the past few years, Lamar Jackson is 1-7 against the Steelers since 2020.
Really?
I couldn't believe. I had to like double check 3 different websites to make sure that was accurate.
1-7.
1-7 against the Steelers.
Yeah, I heard you hear people talk about, Mike Tomlin, has not won in a long time, and I'm like, he wins every year. I mean, I look at that roster and I'm like, how the hell does he do it? They got 10 wins last year.
Yeah,
without a quarterback, like 10 wins. It's insane.
That's by far the best division of football, I think.
Yeah,
the deepest.
Yeah. And we'll get into all those NFL notes. Jamar Chase, who I did draft in my fantasy, I don't know if he's going to play this weekend against New England. Not that they need him. New England could be historically bad, like really bad.
Ofer bad, you think?
I don't know. Ofer bad, maybe. I mean, they have nothing to hang.
Man, I would cheer for that wholeheartedly after their historic run of Super Bowls under Brady and Belichick, for them to hang an Ofer.
Yeah, they need to have 20 years of futility due them.
Yeah,
you arrogant Patriot fans.
I mean, like they had for 50 years.
Welcome to the real world,
Bowl,
right? Exactly. Welcome to the real world. Welcome back to the Steve Grogan era, with the. Well,
they went to a Super Bowl
with the cute little Patriot taking a dump on
Pat
the ball.
The Patriot.
Oh my God!
I love that logo, dude. I love that logo.
The most unmasculine NFL logo of all time.
Okay, is it any worse than a winking pirate?
Hey.
What's he winking at? What's Bucko Bruce winking at that he's so happy about?
That hot chick on the pirate ship. Yeah, that's what he's winking at on the beach.
He's winking at his booty.
His ill-gotten booty. Yes, that's what he's winking at. Of course. It's a pirate, for God's sake. You fear the pirate.
Oh, God.
You don't fear the Patriot. Okay. Anyway. I grew up a Dolphin fan, and they come in with those, you'd see that with that little hat that he wears. Yes. That's so whatever. Speaking of which, total aside, went to the International Mall yesterday in Tampa. And I said, let's play a game, Ash. Spot an alpha male.
Oh, God.
She's like, beside you? I'm like, yeah, besides me. We walked around for probably an hour.
Not one to be found, huh?
Nary. Not only you can't find an alpha, it's beta sitting everywhere you look. Guys walking around with, their Neiman Marcus bags and their and purses. I'm like, really? Like, not one? Not one. And I mean, it is the mall, but I get it. But still, So I'm like, how about we find a shop where they sell men's clothes?
Oh, good luck.
I mean, like, do they still have an Eddie Bauer? Nope. Like we walk every one of those shops and you see the models, right? The males and the female mannequins in the window. They all got male purses on. Every one of them.
God.
Like every one of them.
Yeah, that's made its way to Dallas too.
I'm like, do they have men's clothes here? Anywhere? Like anywhere. I mean,
gotta go to Walmart. Rick, you're absolutely right. I treat toes and heels differently. Rex Ryan and I have a lot in common, and I think he subscribes to my OnlyFans. Pretty sure. It's either him or his brother. I don't know.
That's a place I did not want to go this morning.
No.
But this is an even better one by Rick. Of course they'll remember Tyreek and KC. He has a legacy there, at least 5 kids.
You think they all live in KC?
He has an economic impact still. The money he sends back to
He's got more kids than I do, and that's saying something.
Yeah, right? Well, at least
look, JP, I got six kids from 3 different baby mamas. I'm a professional athlete. All right. Look, but at least I was married to 2 of them. Yeah. I was married to 2 of them, so it counts.
You were married to 2 of the women or two of the professional athletes?
2 of the
All right. I didn't put that all together.
Yeah, I misspoke.
6 kids?
Yeah, that I know of.
That you know of. Well, I got two that I are mine, and then I have the 2 stepchildren here. So, which I love, by the way. I love being a dad. Love being a dad. Being a dad is like the coolest thing ever.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, I always love these little asides. Last night, we came home and they're like, can you bench press me, Daddy? I'm like, yeah, I can. Like I said, I think I can bench press the whole family because Ashley weighs 90, 91.
Oh my gosh.
On a good day, 90, 92. The boy's 47 and the girl's probably about 35. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is easy.
Yeah.
I can do multiple reps.
You're not even at 200.
Not even at 200. I'm like, this is easy. This is a piece of cake. I can bench press the whole family. Just don't, sounds impressive, but it's not. No,
we
but
need
it's
video
fun.
of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's more, the logistics are harder than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So had to stack the two kids on top of Ashley, and anyway, it was fun. That's what being a dad's all about, right? Let's do it. So listen, it's great to have NFL football back, and I'm grateful for the quality of play that we saw last night. And I think what we've learned is the Ravens are still good. Lamar is amazing, but Kansas City is by far and away the leader in the clubhouse. I mean, I said, listen, I can't come up with a football reason why the Chiefs are not going to win 3 in a row. I can't come up with an X's and O's reason. I'm just going to say it's because it's really hard to do. You got to stay healthy. The breaks got to go your way. I don't care how good of a football team you are. You still need that in the NFL because it's one and done in the playoffs, right? You get, a couple of bad things that don't go your way against a quality football team, a couple of deflections, you can lose a game, no matter how good of a football team you are, no matter how great Patrick Mahomes is. And I just say at some point the breaks are going to go against them. But damn, are they good.
He saved himself from an interception last night, too.
What a play.
I don't know if you saw that, yeah.
Yes, what a play. And caught the ball and kept the clock running. I mean, Jesus, most guys, I don't want to think to myself, did he think while the ball was in the air, well, I should grab this instead of bat it down because then the clock will keep running? If he did, I mean, ridiculous. But if he didn't, who cares? He caught the ball and the clock kept running. He just at every point, and it's something I thought of last night, and Bucs fans will always be able to cherish. So he's, who has beaten Pat Mahomes in the critical. Not only did they beat him, they kept him out of the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
They kept him out of the end zone. All right, that may go down as the greatest feat in Super Bowl history. When he's all done and has 7 or 8 trophies, he's probably gonna go, the one I lost it was against that Bucs defense, and I was just running for my life the entire game. And kudos to Todd Bowles and that Bucs defense that were absolutely phenomenal that day. And against the player, by the way, that torched them earlier in the season. You remember that? Tyreek Hill had about 189 yards in the first half. But they figured it out and won a Super Bowl. Of course, having Tom Brady didn't hurt, and Gronk and everybody else. But that will go down as like, who the hell ever stopped Pat Mahomes in the playoffs? We did.
Yep.
Ching, ching. So, and every time you see him play in the clutch, it's just so freaking good. And now he's got those 2 speedsters to throw to. Oh, yeah.
And you know what? We know that Travis Kelce's on the brink of retirement, right? He's 35 now. He's got his movie thing. He's got his Taylor thing. Football is no longer a priority in his life, I don't think.
Right.
And when they lose him, I don't know that you're going to miss a beat.
No.
Like, that's what's scary.
He made a big play last night when he scrambles around. They do have a sixth sense together to just find the open spot and know where he's going. That's something special that he'll have a hard time finding from another player. So I don't want to go that far to diminish him, but there's still plenty of weapons and he'll figure it out. I agree with you. I mean, he's a great weapon and has been and will be probably this year. Has he lost a step? I don't know. He's still humongous. He still moves pretty good.
If they win the Super Bowl this year, I think he's hanging it up. He's going to retire, 3-time champ, right?
But will he still be dating Taylor Swift
by the end of the year?
Oh,
I mean, I think he's too much of a wuss to break up with her. So yeah, I think so.
I think this election might be the end of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing, huh?
That's a thing. Yeah. See, Brittany was in a separate suite last night because you know what she did? She liked the Trump post. So now in Taylor's world, it's a rift.
God.
This was a rift. It's a schism, Tim. It's a schism.
Do you think they talk politics much around the whatever dinner table or in the back of the limo?
Are
the
you
four of
making a
them?
misogynistic comment, Tim, that the women do not.
I am
a woman
talking
running
about
for president, by the way, in case
Patrick.
you haven't figured that out. I'm not sure that she can speak intelligently
sure?
about politics.
Are we sure she's a woman? I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Brittany Mahomes, and Taylor Swift. When they're all in the back of the limo, do you think politics come up?
I'm going to go no. But what's worse is it seems to me like it's a Taylor thing. Like her people said, oh, you can't be seen with Brittany now because she liked the Trump post. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it feels like. I mean, doesn't it? That's what it feels like to me. What a great message. Oh, we can't be friends now. We can't be friends now because we're on. God, what a horrible, horrible message to send to the rest of the nation and all the Swifties.
Zero tolerance.
How many Republicans go to your concerts? Probably a lot. But that's the message we're going to send now, that we can't be friends anymore because you like the Trump post. Jesus.
That is the definition of intolerance.
It is the definition of intolerance. Thank you very much. The tolerant folks, the definition of intolerance. What the F? Because I don't think it was Brittany going, oh, you're supporting Kamala? I'm not going to be. No, I don't think that's the way that went down. But does that now become a schism between Patrick and Travis? Like, yo, Travis, does Travis go to Pat and go, yo, your girl, what's she doing?
Oh, can you imagine if that causes a rift between Travis and Patrick on the
That's what I'm saying.
Field?
Schism.
There you go. Look, there's your reason they won't win the Super Bowl this year.
There you go. We found it out right there.
Boom.
Yeah, schism.
And it's all because of the women.
We'll be like, oh, how many targets did Kelce get? He got, 12 in the Super Bowl? What did he get last night? 3?
Oh, yeah.
Schism. We have a schism.
Yikes. How many targets did he get? He got 4 targets.
There we go.
3 catches on 4 targets.
Evidence right there.
There's a rift.
Yep.
I got to write about that today.
Your wife goes and likes, a Trump. We're done. Me and Tay, we are done with you people. People.
What if Kelce demands a trade? I need a trade. I want out.
My future wife says I can't play with you anymore because you and Brittany are toxic. You're white supremacists.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Racist.
God, that would be the biggest football story ever.
Oh, crazy. We're just having fun with that, guys. Don't.
You don't get this kind of sports talk when Nick and Peter are on the show.
No,
it's probably a good thing.
Nick refuses to speak. He just, as soon as I start saying anything political, he's just like.
I'm surprised he doesn't turn his camera off and just wait. JP starts talking political, and Nick's like,
hey, dude, I'm just starting my career.
I don't need to end it right now.
All right. Oh, fantastic.
It's probably smart. Yep.
It's smart play. He's not a dumb kid. No, he's not stupid. And Peter, I just don't know if he cares. I don't know enough.
Exactly. And that's okay too.
That's fine too. Probably better. I wish I cared less. I wish I cared a lot less. I'd be more sane. That's for damn sure. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and hit some of the college stuff. Actually, Scott Carter is waiting in the wings for us. We've gone over here a little bit, but the Gator Report is coming up. DJ Lagway, here we come. Going to save Billy Napier's job. Maybe. We'll see. Back in 3 with Scott Carter, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Celebrate August with the dazzling green hue of peridot, known for its vibrant and refreshing sparkle. Yes, that's the birthstone of August at the Gold and Diamond Source. Explore the Gold and Diamond Source's stunning collection of peridot jewelry, showcasing the gemstone's unique glow and versatility in rings, necklaces, and earrings. Peridot's distinctive color makes it a standout choice for any occasion, adding a touch of elegance and charm to your ensemble. Enjoy 15% off when you shop August Gems online only. Stop by the Golden Diamond Source to experience the allure of August Gem and let their expert staff help you find the perfect peridot piece. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves will bring you the Gator Report, as he does each and every week. So Scott Carter here will jump in just a little bit. We'll be talking some Gator football. Hopefully you received the link. DJ Lagway, my friend, is getting the start. I am excited to see what he can do. And as I think it was Jesse Palmer that talked about it on the broadcast, he looks different than Graham Mertz. He runs different. He throws different. He's the real deal in terms of athleticism. Whether he can read the field, make the big plays when you're supposed to, do all those things that quarterbacks have to do remains to be seen. But I think this concussion to Graham Mertz is probably very much a blessing in disguise for them, because I think if FSU is, I can't believe Mike Norvell is actually having a difficulty with this, to somehow change quarterbacks.
Right.
But his quarterback is not concussed, so it's a little bit more difficult.
When Lagway came in right at the end of the game against Miami, like the last 2 or 3 series, if I remember correctly,
yeah,
he didn't exactly light it up. Now I know he was subbing. I know he threw a pick But I don't remember him throwing a touchdown or anything. I mean, he only threw a handful of passes. I get it, but
he threw a couple slants that looked really good, and the ball comes out crisp, and it comes out with velocity. I think more so than Graham Mertz. It just gets after it. So, I think it's obviously, and he's going up against Samford this week, so that certainly helps you to get your feet under you, and it's kind of like an exhibition game.
Sure.
Hopefully for the Gators.
If this was like Clemson or anybody, an ACC foe, and not a cream puff. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect Samford, but he's still going to have to play, right? Because Mertz is concussed, so
he hasn't practiced all week.
It's just sheer luck right now that it's just sheer luck right now that they're able to make this change going into an inferior opponent. Yeah.
It works out well, and nothing cleans the slate like a big W, especially home, whether it's Samford or whatever. So it's a good spot for Billy Napier to play it now. Right. I also saw FSU almost lose to Samford a few years ago. If their best pass rusher wasn't thrown out of the game, they would have lost that game. You never know. Let's bring in Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com here, who joins us each and every week on the Jeeves Law Group Data Report. What's up, Scotty? How are you?
Hey, guys. How are you doing? Been a little hot up here in Gainesville this week.
I like the brick background. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that popped up, but I'll take it. It could be worse.
Well, it looks like one of the brick buildings on the University of Florida campus. It has the same brick coloring and everything. Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully they're loose and people won't pick them up and throw them at me. So.
Well, I saw you catching some shiz on Twitter because of you clarified the basement statement by Billy Napier, and quite rightfully so. It's crazy. I mean, college football fans, we love you. We love you. You keep us in business, but damn, sometimes you're so emotional. Like, let's keep it together here, people. Explain the basement quote and all that shenanigans that went on this week.
Yeah, Billy was asked, this was Monday press conference, he was asked just basically how difficult is it in today's modern age to keep the noise outside the building. And he had a long-winded answer kind of explaining his philosophy. And at the end of it, near the end of it, he said, you just have to do it that way and not let some guy in a North Central Florida basement, not care about what he says. It was just kind of off at the end of the quote. And of course, it could have used a better choice of words, certainly. It wasn't wise to kind of even give that insinuation. At the same time, here we are. Everything is so overblown, especially on social media, and it took off and had a life of its own. And whereas if you really listen to the question, listen to his answer, there's no way you're going to read anything into that like he was suddenly just taking shots at Gator fans. That's not what it was. But hey, I get it. He said Wednesday night, poor choice of words, certainly not a shot at the fans. I think we've moved on. But JP, that just kind of embodies where the Gators are after week one, where Billy Napier is in his tenure. That game last week, there's no way around it. It was embarrassing for Florida. Billy Napier said that. I've heard probably half a dozen players say it this week. And when you're entering a season where it's a big year for Billy Napier. I mean, to try to get this thing going like we've been building, and to open up against Miami at home and not really even be in the game, that was disheartening performance. And I'm not ready to throw in the towel by any means on Billy Napier, but they've got to do better. And sometimes a staff, a coach will come to that fork in the road. And maybe he's going to finally differ in what he's doing. Maybe he's going to be tougher on these guys, whatever he needs to do.
Right.
Because if he stays on the same path, I think we know that's not going to end well.
No, it's insanity to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I'm watching the game, and first of all, the lack of discipline, 2 huge penalties. One that I think was a roughing and one that was iffy at best. But, it's still 2 undisciplined penalties, which has kind of been the thing that really is, I think, the most honest criticism of his teams is they can't line up right. They don't have enough people on the field. They're undisciplined. I mean, these are hallmarks of poorly coached teams. And trust me, I've seen 2 games of it in Tallahassee with a coach who I thought was beyond that, quite frankly. But that's, I think, where the fairest criticism comes in here of Napier. That's the stuff that you want to see cleaned up. I don't think anybody would have been pissed if they lost by 10 points and they played a crisp football game. But it's the sloppiness, the broken coverages, the undisciplined play, which I think is really, really pissing people off. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it is. Definitely, they didn't pass any of the eye tests. I mean, the special teams actually did well compared to last year. But everything else, the offense just never got, on track. There didn't really seem to even be a flow with anything they were doing. And, Graham Mertz, who had a really nice year last year, it's probably his worst game we've seen from him before he got hurt. The defense gave up more than 500 yards for the 3rd time in 4 games. And you're right, those 2 penalties, Justice Spoon early and then DJ Douglas later in the first half led to 2 touchdowns. They were both roughing the passer penalties. And, I mean, I get it. Those are going to happen once in a while, but neither one of them was really that close. I mean, those guys got to learn. You've got to pull up, even though I know you're wanting to make that hit. And they cost them dearly. So I think it was just a accumulation of things, JP. Everything right now, nothing's good to Gator fans. I mean, Billy Napier can't do anything right now except go out and win some games. He said, look, there's nothing I can say. The talk's over. We got to go prove it. We got to go get better on the field, win some games. And that is the only way you can change the narrative right now with the Florida Gators. And they get that chance, if there's ever been a cupcake that you need. Boy, Stanford's sure showing up at the right time. But, of course, the Gators are going to have to take care of some of their business to make this not a close game.
Right. Yeah. Stanford, I don't know what their team's like this year, but I think it was 3 years ago at FSU. Seriously, their best pass rusher was kicked out of the game for targeting in the midway through the 3rd quarter when I think Stanford was still leading. And I think he stayed in the game, they would have won. So it's not crazy. If you don't put your stuff together, you got to go out there and play, a good football game. And that brings us to DJ Lagway, the Gatorade Player of the Year. This is an easy call, obviously, because Graham Mertz is still concussed, right? As opposed to waiting for Mike Norvell to get rid of his quarterback. This is an easy call. He jumps right in. I thought he looked really good and poised in the few series he got. I know he threw a pick, but I thought he looked good. What are your thoughts about DJ and just stepping into this offense in this spot?
Well, I think just having, this opportunity is obviously huge for him and his career. Not the ideal scenario for the Gators and Billy Napier, obviously. But sometimes we've seen these kind of situations happen, JP, and the guy comes in and just kind of reboots, adds some energy that wasn't there, and things take off. I don't know if that's going to happen with DJ, but I do know that, he came in the other day, and I thought under circumstances – handling himself pretty well. It's always a little different when now he's prepared all week to be that guy. And what's that going to look like for him against Stanford? And how are they going to structure the playbook around his strengths and weaknesses? So I'm really curious to see that, probably just as much as anything else on Saturday, because this guy is the piece of the program that Billy Napier is kind of hanging a turnaround on. So he's going to get his opportunity earlier than expected. And, who knows what's going to happen? Well, you would think you'd like to see Graham Mertz get the chance to come back and play if he can. But if DJ goes out there and the Gators look suddenly different, who knows? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to watch. But right now, I think the key for where they are and where he is as a player, just go out there, play smart, execute, avoid the costly mistakes, and again, just go out there and get a W, and then take a little bit of breath, because then guess what? You got the SEC coming right at you.
Here it comes, yeah.
And they're going to have to be a lot better than what we saw against Miami to even win a couple of those SEC games.
Scott Carter joining us here from FloridaGators.com. Did you see? Is Graham Mertz? Is this I know concussions are hard to read, But do you get a sense that this could be longer than a week, that he could almost play this week, but they're going to hold him out just because they probably don't need him? What's your sense?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Graham. He didn't practice through Wednesday. He hadn't cleared the final test yet. So, I don't think they would have risked anything with that. And they also, whatever happens with DJ, if they do need to give a different look to the defense, their third string guy is a guy named Clay Millen. His father used to be an NFL, Hugh Millen, a backup quarterback. And he started 10 games 2 years ago at Colorado State. So he's got some experience.
Okay.
I watched him in the scrimmages. He actually could throw the ball pretty nice down the field. So they've got that backup plan to where they shouldn't even have to worry about Graham. But obviously they want DJ to go out there and just take control of this thing.
And that will depend on who starts the rest of the way, you think? That's just how DJ plays, or will at
this point, I think the plan would be for Graham to get back in there as soon as he can and take back over. But again, like I said, not the weird. I mean, I can't think. I mean, we all know what happened. There was this guy. Wasn't this guy Tom Brady took the job?
It happens. Yeah.
It happens, and we've seen it obviously in college football happen.
Yeah.
At this point, I would be very surprised if that was the development. I'm not sure DJ is at that stage yet. But again, if he goes out there and plays well and the offense suddenly looks like a whole different product than we saw last week, then if you're Billy Napier, that you're being watched like never before. You're trying to win games, so you're going to do what you have to do.
Hey, all I know is there's some basement dwellers in Ocala that will not like seeing Graham Mertz come back. That's all I'm saying. So what else did we learn about young players? Because I think the FSU situation and Florida situations are kind of similar. You have older players that you think are your better players. And then you come to the realization that, at least especially at FSU, the season, this has got to be about the future. Now, you can go out, if you're Billy Napier and you're not winning games, you're getting fired. I think Mike Norvell has a little bit longer leash. Sure. That said, Napier has recruited some really good players in the last couple of years. We got 4 and 5 stars. How many of those guys are going to play more? Are they all already playing? What other personnel changes could be made here for Florida to get better?
Well, I mean, you've got to look at all options if you're Billy Napier. I mean, obviously a couple of things stood out last week that, to me, and also just you saw a lot of chatter on the fans. He was rotating a lot of the lineups in and out. And, a lot of people are like, well, if your first team is definitely your first team, why are you rotating them in and out so much? Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got to keep your best players on the field. Right. Obviously they're going to need a rest, but so I think I'll be watching that pattern more, JP, this week to see if he backs off of that because, I know in this day and age, and he hasn't said this publicly, but I'm guessing that you probably, if you talk to more coaches and gave them truth serum, they probably think more about keeping everybody happy because of the NIL world.
Right.
And, but man, when you're trying to win games, that's not always, you can't keep everybody happy. You just can't. You got to go with your best guys. I think they're also facing some injury concerns. I mean, you're going in. Graham Mertz is the only guy hurt. They're starting cornerback. Devin Moore is going to be out. They're starting nickelback star, whatever you want to call him. Sharif Denson's out. Joy Slackman, the defensive lineman that they brought in from Penn, the Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year. Don't think we're going to see him. They're losing Asa Turner, the transfer from Washington. So they had some. Not only do you mix in just the bad performance, they also they're losing some veteran guys for this week's game. So it's like, if I'm him, I'm just preaching opportunity for these young guys, trying to get them hungry to go out there and make a difference. Because you're right, some of the guys that people want to see are, LJ McCray. Yeah, the big defensive lineman. He did play against Miami, but he didn't really show up much. I think he's just, he's just a freshman. He physically not quite there yet. But I think the opportunity is there as this season plays out. Right. More and more of those guys. And I think that's probably a best case scenario in some ways for Florida, because that means they've earned it and they're getting some building for the future, Yeah,
there's a lot of question marks in Tallahassee and other places that, does NIL affect coaches' decisions on who you play? I think you have to say yes. But as the season goes on, if those particular players, and this is something that you're really having a conversation with in Tallahassee, DJU, the quarterback, in my mind, you got to sit him down. He's not giving you anything. I think he's hampering the offense. And I've talked to some people this week up there, and there is a sense that the players don't believe in him, and they believe in they're closer to the guys like Brock Glenn, who've been around, and they see the newcomers come in and they're like, I'm as good as this guy, when this guy's getting paid and blah, blah, blah. And I think it fractures your team, and you sense that's going on in Tallahassee. How do you fix that as a coach? You think you go to the younger players that you recruited and say, you guys go play. I don't know if it's going to be an interesting thing to see as this develops around the nation and how coaches handle it. I don't know. I know Napier had a good week. I mean, a good off season in the portal. That's what they say. We said the same thing at Florida State. Those guys can't play. We found out. So what we thought was a good portal class is not a good portal class. Is it the same in Florida?
Yeah. I mean,
too early to tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's still one game, but I do you just look at what Miami brought in. They had the quarterback Cam Ward.
That portal's pretty good. Yeah.
Damian Rodriguez at running back, he showed up. Ron Brown at receiver, you noticed him.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Gators, they had Brandon Crishaw Dixon on the offensive line. Didn't really stand out. He got a penalty. Asa Turner on the back end, before he got hurt. Nothing too big. I mean, these are guys who have played, have a lot of experience. But I didn't think they impacted the game the way Miami's transfers did.
Absolutely.
And to me, in this day and age, when you're getting those transfer portal players, to me, man, they have to be difference makers from day one.
Yes.
And otherwise, go with the way you're building it through youth and the high school ranks. But I just saw a big difference there with what Miami brought in.
It's a great point. It's a great point. It's such a fine line. And this coaches see all this stuff in practice. We don't see that. All we get to really see is game day to go on. And obviously practice makes a difference. Now, but you got to show up on game day. And I think you're absolutely right. That's how you judge the portal. Are they showing up on game day? I got to ask you this question. It's a little weird because you're more of a reporter. Just keep it to the facts, it's talk radio. We do all these silly things, but I saw an Urban Meyer clip going around on Twitter where he threw Billy Napier under the bus. Like I don't think I've ever seen a former coach throw up another coach under the bus like he did. I thought it was grotesque myself, especially coming from someone who is in a broadcast role, a prominent broadcast role, and has coached at the University of Florida before. You coaches just don't do this to other coaches, but Urban Meyer does a lot of things that are a little off, in my opinion. Yeah. Is there really a groundswell in Gainesville to bring him back, or is this just fodder for idiots like me?
No, I think in terms specifically with Urban, I think that's just kind of internet fodder at this point. I mean, there's nothing going on. I mean, obviously I think it's fair, in terms of Billy Napier's future and where this program is. I mean, I think it's at a critical juncture. Again, I just don't believe you can keep recycling coaches over and over. But, if this thing were continue on this path and it spirals out of control, it all goes back to money, JP. How I mean, if the powers that be see fans not showing up and donations going down, they'll pay that buyout because they have to get people excited again to get the money rolling back in. So that's just the way the business side of it works.
Yeah.
But are there any instant fixes out there? No, nothing's guaranteed. I mean, there's not. So it's just going to be intriguing to see how this season plays out. I've been around this now. I've been through 3 or 4 of these, but never after the first game of the season.
Yeah,
usually the wheels fall off more like mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing's from the day one. So that's why it's imperative that the Gators go out there and win Saturday and try to get some wins, because then that's the only way you're going to change the narrative and to prevent Urban Meyer and other people making wild comments from, dominating the news cycle. But I think we all know Urban's a unique human being.
You're so nice.
Again, I think he is an excellent coach, but a unique approach to
it. You're so diplomatic. I love it. All right. Anything else we need to know? By the way, Trey Wilson certainly showed up, our Tampa young man, and I think he's going to have a great season if he can get some consistency at quarterback. I think that was probably a lone bright spot for the Gators in this game. And I think he and Lagway could have a great future together. I think if you're a Gator and you're looking for some hope, there's a nice little combination right there.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt Lagway, Eugene Wilson. Again, I think they have a nice running back group with Montrell Johnson Jr., Jaden Ball, Trayon Webb. I think they have some young pieces on defense that we haven't seen a lot yet. And, LJ McCray and Miles Graham Jr.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about production on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really not a lot of people up in Gainesville this week were buying hope. They just want wins. And I think that's just where it is. So we'll see what Saturday looks like. But, man, if we have let's just say if they were to lose that game, then who knows what's going to happen. But they got to win. So let's just keep it there. We'll keep
it right there. I've seen it. I've seen losses to Jacksonville State, but they ain't pretty. Yeah. It is not pretty. All right, Scott, tell everybody how they can get your content at FloridaGators.com.
Yeah, just go to our website, FloridaGators.com. We'll have quite a bit of pregame stuff coming up later today and in the morning, and then also obviously on Twitter at GatorsScott, and all it's an entertaining week on Twitter, JP.
Yes, it is. Hey, it's good for business, though. It's good for business.
That's right. I've always said it, and I'll say it until the day I shut my computer. I'm glad that there's passion out there because, that people care about this stuff, and it's important to a lot of people. And, that's what, like you say, keeps us all employed, and also just gives us something to talk about Monday through Friday, man.
Yep. Yeah, I'll leave you with this. One of our most snarky commenters and very funny dude, Rick, said, Urban Meyer's a unique coach in person. Yeah, and Hitler was a decent politician and military guy. That's what I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah,
there we go.
Like I said.
All right, Scotty, at Gator Scott. Follow him for more fun and frivolity on Twitter, you basement dwellers in Ocala. We love you.
See you guys.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. It's I got to actually – maybe you can find. I'll see if I can find it. But when I saw that Urban talking, and I'm like, "Holy hell, bro!" I mean, I know you're trying to fit in, fill some time here and get your name back out in the lights, but that was not the way to do it. I didn't think. But did you see it?
It's pretty sorry. It's.
Have you ever seen a former coach throw a current coach under the bus like that?
In private, lots of times, but never on TV or in an interview.
He didn't do it on. Yeah, he didn't do it on the dais at Big Noon. But man, that was. If he had any shot of coming back, I think if I'm an administrator and I see that, I'm like, dude, that is not the way you go about it. That is not professional. That is not the way you go about it.
Who do you think has a better chance of landing another college coaching job, Urban Meyer or Jimbo Fisher?
Jimbo. I would say Jimbo.
I agree.
I mean, Urban's done some really weird stuff. Like it's not just the whole thing not going home with your team in Jacksonville and then being filmed with your hand down some other young girl's pants in a bar drunk. Yeah. I mean, that's what the. I mean, you want to talk about unprofessional? What are we doing there? And then just the way he left Florida was. Under some really, really weird,
like medical reasons, right?
Yeah. And there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes there that everybody in Florida, at least the administration, certainly remembers and knows about. And then the stuff in Jacksonville. I mean, that was eccentric behavior. When you're kicking players, and the things that he said to his players, I mean, that's eccentric behavior. And I would say that interview he did the other day was eccentric behavior. And I don't know how you put a $1 billion industry, well, whatever you want to call a major college football program now. It gets into the billions, obviously. Right. In his hands, I don't know if that's a smart play.
I mean, he's shown enough crazy in recent years to not be anyone to be interested in.
You can hide that on a TV show. You can hide for the most part. But I mean, we know what happened in Jacksonville. We know what happened in Florida. We know what happened at Ohio State. Yeah. Yes, there was winning in college. There's no question about that. There was winning. But you even go back to the way he won. And do you really want to do that again?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the University of Florida, I mean, ethically, is that something that you want to do again?
I mean, you're trying to become relevant again, right? Like, you would make news. It would make news immediately.
Oh, yeah.
But 6 months later, is he going to win you games? I don't know if he can win games anymore.
Well, it always comes down to relationships with players. And I think you've got to trust them, and you've got to be authentic. And he's anything but that. Yeah. He's anything but that. I mean, in the era of mercenaries and NIL and all that, is he a better fit for that? I don't know. It's hard to really judge. But if I'm an administrator, I wouldn't even have him send me a resume. I'm like, I'm good. I know where you're at.
From a recruiting standpoint, parents are still involved in where their kids go to school at that age. If I'm a parent, do I want him going to play for Urban Meyer?
Hell no.
I mean, yeah.
As Mike Stover says, bar dancing Urban Cowboys, the last person to throw someone under the bus. We'll get that stuff. I got to play that because my mouth was agape when I saw. I'm like, are you serious? Was this something that he did on some back channel that wasn't supposed to get public? Right. No, like he did it because he wanted to campaign for the job.
Yeah,
like the corpse wasn't even cold after the Miami game, and it's like, let's jump in there.
He wasn't being recorded in a bar talking to his buddy, and then it leaked. This was intentional. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Hopefully, I may have that sound for you. I'm going to try to find it for you, and I know Timmy can. We got USF Bama to talk about. I want to get to that as well. A lot of other interesting college games, and we got Bucs to talk about as well. Huge game coming up, the season opener against Washington. We'll give you some player props, all kinds of fun stuff coming your way. We're brought to you by Extravaganza Productions. If you got a big event coming up or a small event coming up and you want the pros to handle it in terms of an audio-visual production standpoint, it's Extravaganza Productions. Folks, they can do the big events, the small events, business events, charity events, whatever you need. They've got a warehouse full of props that you can use and great creative ideas. So take them up on the free creative meeting idea and just head on over there. Tell them JP sent you, and you guys can talk it through. No risk, no payment, no nothing right there. extravaganzaproductions.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results, whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all. It's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at rogersparkgolf.net. That's rogersparkgolf.net. See you there.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to Football Friday here on the JP Peterson Show. We're going to give you a lot of some prop bets here. That was my strength last year, Timmy. Buccaneers prop bets. So I'm going to go light on the game bets this year.
By the way, I won my one and only prop bet for Thursday Night Football.
What'd you get?
So I got sent my old website that I used to place bets on all the time. I ran out of money and I never deposited more money, so they sent me a free $25 bet. So I betted on the first field goal of Chiefs-Ravens under 38.5 yards. And, of course, the first field goal was 32 yards. So I won 25 free dollars.
Nicely done. Nicely done. I lost my parlay last night, my Hard Rock Bets parlay. I had Isaiah likely over 16.5 yards. That crushed. Noah Gray over 11.5. I like going with these lower totals because players, you just need one pop and you get over, and you kind of figure. And I kind of like the lesser players because a lot of times you'll get, obviously Mike Evans is going to get a lot of attention. And I got over Lamar Jackson's 50.5 yards rushing.
Right.
And then I also had a Lamar Jackson anytime TD, and that cost me.
Oh.
That's where I had 4 out of the 5, and Lamar Jackson cost me. And that's the way parlays work. But they're so fun to bet because, and I don't like throwing a first touchdown in on your parlay, right?
Right.
Because then, right out of the gate, you could be out of the game. Right. So, but I think they're fun. And we're going to give you some other bets here coming up. You got the Urban Meyer thing. So, but since we're talking about it, let's go ahead and show.
Yeah, if this is the right one, I couldn't listen to it because we're on the air.
Yeah, just by the way it's framed up, I think this is it.
All right.
Because no one's making the coaching staff stay at Florida, if you know what I mean. There's plenty of places where you can go and mediocrity is accepted, and Florida's not one of them. Ohio State's not one of them. And I would always tell myself that, but I would also, as I'm reminding myself that, I'd share with our team, saying, I will help you go wherever you want to go. If you don't like, this is too much for you. If it's too much for you, I'll sign your transfer papers right now and you can go. That includes our coaching staff. But as long as you're here, you're expected to be the very best in the country at what you do. If that does not fit your job description, you need to leave. And I'll help you. That does not make you a bad person. Pay your taxes, be a good guy, but get out of here. Because this is what's expected if you're not the very best in the country at what you do. So that would be my message to the Florida Gators.
Wow. There you go.
I mean, are you kidding me? Get out of here.
That includes the coaching staff.
So he's telling Billy Napier to resign. You need to resign. Mediocrity is not. I mean, that's just so out of bounds.
But it doesn't make you a bad person, JP.
No, not at all. No, you're just. If you're mediocre player, then get out of here. Well, sign your transfer papers right now. Very Deion-esque.
Very.
Yeah. By the way, Deion's got a big game this week as Dylan Raiola of Nebraska, the highly touted Nebraska quarterback, true freshman, will be hosting Colorado and Shedeur Sanders. Great quarterback matchup there. Of course, we don't know how good Raiola is. It's well publicized. He's one of the best coming out, but
highly touted.
Highly touted. Haven't seen nothing yet. At Nebraska, that's 7:30 Saturday night. So we'll be watching that one.
I mean, he was recruited by
everybody
and committed to a couple of places, right? Well, I think he was at Ohio State for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Georgia. I can't remember where all he was. But it's shocking that he ended up going to Nebraska.
Georgia. Yeah, everybody recruited him, and he ended up going to Nebraska. He had some family ties there, I think, or something. Yeah. But whatever. That's gonna be a great game. Texas, Michigan. Texas at Michigan. Michigan did not have a great opening week. If that Michigan thing feels a lot like the FSU thing. Not that bad, but
yeah, not quite.
I mean, they won the game against Fresno State, but that was a one-score game late, and they got a pick six at the end of the game. Yeah, so I like Texas there. I think Texas is going to steamroll. Texas is really good.
I hope they don't, but I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah, well, of course, A&M fan.
Somebody asked me one time who has no Texas or A&M affiliation. They're like, why do you cheer against Texas even when the Aggies aren't playing? Because they're Texas. They're a rival. And so I had to turn it back to the NFL because they're a Cowboys fan. I said, well, do you cheer for the Eagles to win whenever they're not playing the Cowboys? Well, I don't really care if they're not playing the. Well, then you're a terrible sports fan.
I agree.
That's an idiotic thing to say.
Especially college, man. You got real rivalries, Like I try to be objective, as a when we talk about these games and talk about these teams. I don't hate the University of Florida. Right. I kind of hate Miami. I mean, sure. I think I have much more hate for and this is the worst part. When Miami does get good, they are insufferable. They are insufferable. They're already insufferable. Like one game in, they're already coming at me. Oh, Florida State doesn't care about winning games anymore. Now it's about the music and they're like, bro, what do you like? You win one game and your coach is out there doing the gator chop. Like how? Come on, Cristobal, what are you doing?
Because he's a hurricane. He knows better.
Act like you've been there before.
Right.
But the coach doesn't do that. Let your players do it. That's fine. I mean, your players are going to do that.
Look, if you're both ranked top 10 teams and you beat them, maybe, and you're at home, maybe. Right. But, dude, this is a down Florida team, and you're supposed to do that.
Yeah. That's why I don't believe in Miami, because he's going to F it up. No matter how good their talent is, he'll find a way to not take a knee at the end of the game and F it up, because that's what he does.
You got wide right nightmares.
Shut up, Nathan. Shut up. 45-3. What is that? Remember that a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
10 out of the last 14, Hurricane fan. 10 out of 14, FSU. 10 out of 14.
Stirring the pot.
I know. And I don't want to do it this year because we're going to get our ass kicked down there. But that, we've had a good time with Miami lately.
Had your moments.
Not Miami green. This is USF green, by the way. All right, let's talk I'm going to talk some props for the Bucs game. First of all, we've talked a lot about the Bucs game, the matchup with Jaden Daniels. Clearly, to me, the entire crux of this game comes down to containing him. You saw what Lamar did last night. Listen, I'm not going to say Jaden Daniels is that good a runner. Lamar is maybe the best, along with Michael Vick, to ever do it. But certainly, from what he did at LSU, ask Gators, he's still running. He's as quick and as fast to accelerate through an open area as I've seen. I mean, like he's Lamar quick, and you just give him a crease and you're playing man-to-man in the back.
Yeah.
That's 25 yards like that. And I think he'll probably lean on that a little bit, but that's for the Bucs to do. They've got to keep him contained, let him play from the pocket. Not that he can't do that. He can do that as well, but he's still, this is his first game as an NFL quarterback. The Bucs should force at least a couple turnovers. And he's not the biggest kid. He's slightly built, and you need to pop him around. You need to get some hits on him, and that's something that's going to be very important for the Bucs to do. I think that's where to me, that's the main matchup in this game, is containing him. Because if he doesn't get out on multiple plays, I think the Bucs win this game pretty easily. I think, Washington's defense is better. They've added some pieces. I'm interested to see how much better. but they were really bad last year. And I think the Bucs should be able to run the football with their new running game. And I think Baker should have some success in the air as well. So, and those, my prop bets will certainly reflect that. So the Bucs are 3.5-point favorites. It went down to 3 for most of yesterday, which was very interesting. And now it's back to 3.5. I think, I'm either number, and I know it's a big half point. Either number, I'm betting the Bucs. I think, I just think they're better, and
they're at home.
And they're at home. And continuity wins. Continuity wins in this league, and there's a lot of different stuff. New head coach in Dan Quinn, a lot of new players on both sides of the ball. It's just I think Washington can be good. It's to expect them to come out and click in game 1, I think is a little much.
Yeah.
So let's go through some player props. And let's go passing yards. Jaden Daniels over 217.5. I'm going to say under that for Jaden Daniels because I to me in your first game, I wouldn't bet it for the most part. But if I have to take a side, I'm going to go under. Baker's at 248.5. I'm going to go under that because I think they're going to lean on the run game a little bit more and have some success there. So they're the passing touchdowns. Jaden Daniels 1.5 plus 170. Probably wouldn't play that one. Baker 1.5 minus 140 to get 2 or more. And when he wasn't hurt last year, he went over this. I think 8 out of his last 10. I think in the middle of the season. So I like in this offense. I like him to go over there. It's a plus 142. Minus 140. Not great odds, but I think it's a pretty good bet. Some of these other ones I really, really like. Receiving yards for the Buccaneers. Cade Otton over 26.5. I like that. I like
over.
I think he's going to get more targets than he did last year because there's going to be so much attention paid to Mike and Chris. And just judging from training camp how often Baker looked his way in this offense, I think he's going to get 5 to 6 targets in this game. And if you can't get over 26.5 yards with that many targets, something's wrong.
The only thing I can see that would affect that, because I think, like you said, they're going to focus on Evans and Godwin shutting them down for the most part, is if McMillan has a big game. And if for some reason he's open and Baker can find him here in game 1, I think that'll affect Otton's catches. But, who knows?
And that's my next one. Jalen McMillan over 23.5. Book it. At minus 115. I mean, his average catch at Washington, I think, was close to 18 yards. Yeah. He's very good after the catch. So this, to me, that could be one. 2, if he gets two catches, he's going to surpass that. And I think he's probably going to have 4 for 60, somewhere in that range. Right. And he catches the football. He doesn't drop targets. So to me, early in the season, you're going to get great numbers with Cade and Jalen McMillan. And I'd play both of them. Mike Evans is over 67.5. That seems like kind of a low number for him.
It's game 1, though.
It's game 1. Yeah. And I think Washington's going to really focus on him. Chris is over 56.5. Chris Godwin. I bet Chris Godwin like over everything last year and had tremendous success. So I'm going to go over with him as well. So I got Godwin, Cade, and McMillan all over their receiving yardage total. Okay. How about let's do rushing? Where are the rushing yard? And this is a little bit different because we haven't seen this Liam Cohen offense yet.
Yeah.
Rachaad White at 58.5. On the ground. I got to go over that number. He averaged 900 yards. So he averaged about that last year. And this ground game is so much better. Now, I don't think he's going to get as many carries, but I think he'll be more productive. So I'm going to go over for Rachaad White, 58.5 yards. And I think that's a really, really good bet. Baker Mayfield, over 7.5 yards. They don't have a Bucky Irving here on the Hard Rock.
Really?
Over 7.5 yards. I mean, that's one scramble for Baker. And when he's healthy, he runs.
Yeah.
You like the over?
I do. Yeah, for sure.
On
7.5, that's it? Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
Right? And for the and this is another one, Jaden Daniels, over 39.5 yards rushing, over under. Where are you going on that one? I think he's going to run a lot. I think it's just a part of his first game. The Bucs linebackers are not super fast. They're not. Levante's good and he's well positioned, but he's 35 years old. And KJ Britt is a 4.7 guy.
He's going to have a bit of panic element to him, too, in his first game, I think. So he may be likely to pull the ball down and scramble more. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to go over on that one as well. So there's a couple props for you. Brian Robinson Jr. over 42.5. I think this Bucs run defense will be better, but that's not a whole lot of yards for a team that I think that's going to try to run the football a little bit.
Right.
I'd probably go over on that one as well. Any other props you want to talk about or interested in this particular game?
Number of timeouts left in his pocket by Todd Bowles.
That's so bad it's off the board.
Yeah, exactly.
So bad it's off the board.
He has 6, and I'm going to take the over.
Anytime touchdown scores, that's another one I love to play.
Yeah.
So for the Bucs, I'll give you some of the numbers. Rashad White anytime is a -105. There's no value there. I like to play more value. Evans is a +140. Again, not a whole lot of value.
It's on the plus side, though.
Yeah. K. Dotton's at +220.
Oh, God.
I look at that. I'll take that for an anytime touchdown.
What do they know that we don't? I mean, that seems like an outlandish odd right there.
Jalen McMillan's +350 for an anytime touchdown. They used him a lot in the red zone in training camp. He caught a lot of balls in the red zone. I'm going to write that one down as well.
Dude, that's just huge value, though. I mean,
it's great value.
Yeah.
You don't have to bet a lot, just make a little bit. So, and that's one I would include in one of my parlays for sure, because that just pops that parlay up a little bit. Baker Mayfield, Payne Durham +1,500. That would be a nice little flyer there, because he got a lot of looks in training camp.
He did.
Durham. He did. Yeah.
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked good. He caught the ball much better than he did. And when they ran a goal line, every once in a while, you'd see him bringing one down.
Yeah.
At +1,500. Yeah, I'd waste $10 on that. Absolutely.
Huge value.
Yeah. Who else? Cam Johnson's at +1,750 for a 1 touchdown. I have a feeling they're going to have a little package for him. I might be another one I'd just throw.
That's so high. That's so high. It scares me, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a rookie, he's undrafted free agent, but I think they're going to have a little package for him. So There you go. So there's some fun stuff. We'll check in on some of those picks on Monday. So we got a game tonight, my friend. We got Packers and Eagles tonight in Brazil. Yeah, my good friend Sal Palantonio is out
in Brazil.
I don't get that. I know they don't even have Twitter in Brazil.
No, they got it taken away from them.
Yeah,
no free speech.
Now we're going to communist countries to play football.
There was a whole movement to cancel the game.
Us for America.
There was a whole movement to cancel the game because of that, of the X, that they banned X and no free speech. Everybody said, why are we going down there to promote our game to a bunch of people that don't have free speech?
Well, Kamala wins. Hello.
Get used to it.
Yeah, get used to it. Same thing. Say goodbye to X. You think you let Elon Musk and all that shenanigans go on? All that free speech stuff go on? Now that they have somewhere they could point to in the world. Well, see, yeah.
It's working in Brazil.
Yeah, Venezuela. It's wonderful.
Venezuela.
Yeah. I talked to a guy from Ashley talked to a guy from Venezuela the other day, doing some house inspection here, and he's like, "Oh man, I lived there. I got out early in the 2000s, and you could see it all coming, and everything that happened there is happening here in America. Watch out, pay attention, people." So that's tonight. That's Packers and Eagles. A lot of people picking the Packers, 2 NFC teams that will figure with the Bucs in terms of a wild card or division championship, a home playoff game, all that stuff. I know everybody loves Jordan Love, and I got to see more, bro. I mean, especially before I pay him that much money, I got to see more from him. It feels really like a sophomore situation where people are going to kind of figure him out a little bit. They've had all off season to look at their stuff. I don't know. And the Eagles are an enigma as well.
Yeah.
I mean, very talented roster still, But after what we saw last year, how can you have any confidence in that team whatsoever?
Zero.
Right?
That relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni is trash. I bet you the two of them don't make it through the season together.
I would agree with that.
And guess who's going to get the boot? It ain't going to be Hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way when you have a big contract.
And on Jordan Love, I am a huge believer in Jordan Love. I thought he was the best quarterback. I thought he was the best quarterback coming out of that college draft, and that was with Tua, Justin Herbert. Who else was in there? But he was the last one to get a starting job, right?
Trey Lance, I think was in there.
Maybe, and yeah, absolutely. And he showed me something last year, and I'm not even talking about the Cowboys game. But what's interesting about that contract is, and I may have mentioned this on this show before. I've talked about it on other shows. If that game goes different, the Cowboys and Packers last year in the playoffs, if Dallas beats Green Bay, Dak's the one with the huge contract right now, and Love doesn't have one because they're still questioning, is he the guy?
Well, there's a reason for that too. Right. Right. Maybe there's a reason why that happened, because Jordan Love's hell of a lot better.
Because he's better.
But I think that's the case, but I don't know for sure. But if I have to bet tonight, I'm betting the Packers.
Yeah, me too.
I'm betting the Packers.
What's the line? What's the line, did you say?
I think it's 3.5. Hold on. Stand by for Hard Rock Bets. Tonight it's down to 2 now. The Packers are getting 2 points. I think they're the better team. There's no home field advantage here.
Right.
The over-under is 49.5. I was surprised the game went over last night, but the offenses were just really good last night.
Yeah.
Against 2 really good defenses. So I got popped on that one. But I got to go with Green Bay. If I'm going to parlay this game, I'm going Green Bay in the over.
The money line I see over at ESPN Bet is plus 110 for Green. Dude, I'm taking that. I'm taking Green Bay all the way.
Right? The money line, you got plus 105 here on Hard Rock.
Okay. Pretty similar.
It's different how, it's one thing about Hard Rock is, since they're the only game in town in Florida, you can't shop odds.
Right.
Unless you have an offshore
account.
Email
talk about that
if you're interested. Wink, wink.
JP might know a guy.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins. JP at the jppetersonshow.com. If you're inclined to get an $800 bonus. Not,
there it is.
Not promoting it, but so we did a lot. We did all the lines yesterday. Is there any games that you love this week, my friend?
You know what I hate? The game that I hate is Cowboys-Browns.
I love the Browns in this game. I think this.
I do too.
I think this is one of the easier picks of the week. Yeah, I'm going to get your thoughts on that while you have here. I think Deshaun Watson is obviously the wild card here. He's good enough quarterback. I mean, good God, this Cleveland team went to the playoffs with Joe Flacco. Jesus,
and using 5 quarterbacks last year, by the way.
Yeah. Their defense is ridiculously good. They run the football. They're good at everything except quarterbacking. They do enough to get the quarterback to play well enough to win.
Well, you've got a questionable quarterback, and you don't have your running back.
In. Yeah. What's that?
You don't have your running back. Nick Chubb's on the IR to start the season, so you're rolling Jerome Ford out there.
I love Jerome Ford.
I do too, but not as much as Nick Chubb.
Well, yeah, but Jerome Ford he can house call.
He's an angry runner, as Kyle Brandt would say.
Yeah, I love Jerome Ford in this spot. And I think I'm going to take every over I can get on him in this game as well. So I don't know. I like Cleveland a lot this week.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to, look, Cleveland's defense might be the best defense in the league, and it might not be close. And you know what? Deshaun Watson doesn't play defense. So all the question marks surrounding him, I don't see the I don't see the Cowboys putting a ton of points up against the Cleveland defense. Myles Garrett always plays well against the Cowboys, hometown team, right? And he's going to be a beast. You've got a ton of other guys. The Browns secondary is superior to the Cowboys secondary, who's hurt. Deron Bland's out for 2 months. Trayvon Diggs is just coming back from his ACL from last year. I don't like the Cowboys linebackers. I want to see what Mike Zimmer's going to do with this defense before I start touting how great Micah Parsons is going to be under it. Is he going to line up at linebacker? Is he going to line up at defensive end? Is he going to be moving around like he was under Dan Quinn, which I think was a huge mistake that Quinn made with him? But I don't know, but I've got the Browns, and I think it's going to be like a 20-16 game or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, it's 2.5 points, right?
Yeah.
Or 2.5 points, yeah. And so it's under 3. I take the Browns on the money line, easy. And Jerome Ford, by the way, over/under in rushing is 50 yards.
Oh, over.
Right?
Over.
Come on. Deshaun Watson's over/under on running is 20.5. Like you said, the run defense of Dallas and the linebackers are not great.
Yeah, I might take that
over. And they got Zeke at 32.5. Over/under rushing yards for Zeke at 32.5.
Do you want a hot sports prediction on Ezekiel Elliott?
Yeah.
I think by week, we'll call it 6, maybe even before week 6, Ezekiel Elliott is your third running back on the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
And I don't mean that he's going to be demoted. He'll still be RB1 on your depth chart.
Mm-hmm.
But I think from a sheer production level, you're going to get everybody else is going to be more productive with him. Rico Dowdle. I love Rico Dowdle. He's a big dude, and he can play. And the Cowboys' offensive line is in question. You're going to need a guy that can find holes, create their own room. Zeke can't do that anymore. I think Rico Dowdle can.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have the backs wearing down a defense a little bit. And then when you get into the fourth quarter, our little 5'5" K-State Deuce Vaughn's going to come out and just gadget play everybody to death. And I just think Zeke's role on this team is going to sort of shrink a little bit. And I like Zeke. There's nothing against Zeke. I was happy that they re-signed him. I think he is their best option to start the season. But I can see this thing going south for him relatively quickly.
No props for Deuce.
No
interceptions.
Not even for kickoffs or anything.
Rushing, receiving yards, nothing. Like he's not even listed.
Huh?
That's weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he's going to get some touches, right?
If he gets touches, I think it's going to be on the kicks.
Yeah, just kicks.
Teams. Yeah.
No receiving yards out of the backfield.
Man, I don't know. I just don't know what to think in game one. You know,
right. All right, I'm looking for those young rookies on teams or second-year players that have low numbers. Like I said, Cade Otton, Jalen McMillan. It's like Isaiah Likely last night. I had a really good feeling that he was going to get more touches because he was so good at the end of the year last year. Mark Andrews comes back. Everybody thinks he's the guy. He's not the guy anymore. Isaiah Likely is a much better player, much faster, much younger. The page is turned. So go try to find those guys in week 1. I think you'll have some good success. All right, we'll take another break.
We can do this on the other side if you want. I was going to ask for prop bets on Steelers Falcons.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Talk about that when we come back.
Falcons again. I'll stay away week 1 because everything's new. Everything is new. I have no idea what Kirk Cousins is going to do, who his favorite target's going to be. I'll get some intel from my Atlanta guys. I have not done that yet. Need to, because I think in training camp you do get a little feel for like if you're watching every practice like we watch. That who the guys that are going to get more targets are. Mm-hmm. And just because I know Baker Mayfield loves Jalen McMillan. I know Baker Mayfield loves Cade Otton more than he did last year. I know that he will look to Payne Durham a little bit, so little things like that. So, and for a prop bet, if you're getting plus 1750, why not throw $10 out there,
Yeah.
All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to do some USF Alabama preview. Dig down a little bit on that. That's a 31-point spread. Like the Bulls.
Yikes.
Like the Bulls in this spot. They can score points. Quick break. We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Hey, do you have a side gig that you started maybe back in COVID that now you're making some real money on? Well, how about, do you have business insurance? Have you even thought about that? If you don't, you're risking your personal fortune. That's right. They can come after you if you get sued for your personal wealth if you don't have business insurance. So you got to make sure you have it, and Italiano will hook you up. It doesn't cost a lot of money in a lot of different cases, especially if it's a side hustle, but you got to have it. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Have them shop around your home and auto as well. Back in 3. Discover a world of elegance and sophistication at the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're searching for your first piece or celebrating a special milestone, their expert team is here to guide you every step of the way. Navigating the world of fine jewelry can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Their knowledgeable staff is dedicated to helping you choose the perfect piece, ensuring you feel confident and informed. At the Gold and Diamond Source, they pride themselves on offering only the highest quality jewelry. From stunning engagement rings to timeless watches, each piece is crafted with precision and care. So take advantage of their 5 years interest-free financing. This means you can get a $5,000 piece and only pay $83 a month. And if you're new to buying diamonds, their first-time buyer program will educate you on the 4 C's: cut, color, clarity, and carat, and help you understand the different shapes and sizes available. Go enjoy the great staff at the Gold and Diamond Source. You'll be family forever. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source. Not just for the ladies, it's for you dudes as well. If you're interested in getting a nice watch, they have all the different brands there, from Breitling to Tag, Rolex, all the different brands. And you can see, you can get a used watch and get the new ones. You can buy them as an investment. And of course, there are lots of other stuff. Look at some of the rings that you could get. You could get a nice black. There you go. engagement ring. You want to flip those over a little bit. Those are very much in style now. Get a necklace, whatever you like, all at the Golden Diamond Source. For you dudes as well, that's right. Guys can wear, alpha males can wear jewelry as well.
Do those exist?
Only over to the age of 30, I think.
I guess.
Or 40, maybe. I don't know.
Very disappointing.
Yes, well, I know. When you just walk around, like you go to a major public event, just like take a gander.
Just find one.
This is why you see all the women out there now going, I don't need a man.
Because there aren't any.
They're few and far between. Oh, my toxic masculinity. I get it. We don't need a whole lot of that, but let's have some masculinity left in the world.
God.
Take a stand. Hey, let's get to some of our great commenters here today.
Oh, yeah.
We have the little commenter music before we get to USF Alabama. We played a few of them here today. Kenneth McClary. Oh, Kenneth McClary. Saw you in Dublin. So my biggest fear for the game Sunday against, I'm going to call them the Redskins, because that's who they are to me, is the first teamers not getting enough playing time in preseason. I bitch about that all the time, Kenneth. And you saw the one of the teams that plays their first teamers the most, the Kansas City Chiefs. They're pretty good. They didn't seem to miss a beat last night. They came out on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you. The Bucs starters played, 2 series? I'm never going to be okay with that. What else we got here? Jim Barron, good morning to you. Andy Reid's best coach in the NFL. Is that even a debate anymore? Who else would you put up there? The guy you went against last night, Jim Harbaugh?
I mean,
John Harbaugh?
Do you realize? Yeah, Reid's better than Harbaugh, right? You know? Do you realize they're the 2 senior coaches by age in the NFL now?
Andy
Reid is 66, and John Harbaugh is 61. I had no idea John Harbaugh was that
60 something.
Who?
But Todd Bowles is 60 something. He's up there.
Let's see.
Rick says the only alpha males there are the delivery guys. Oh, at the mall.
Oh yeah, at the mall.
Probably.
He's 60, so Harbaugh's got a year on him.
All right. Monty Wilkins says, hop in your boats and head off to the Trop, boys. We have had record flooding in Tampa Bay, like all over Central Florida region. It's been record flooding. So yeah, get out your canoes to get to the Trop. Yesterday it was like there was hardly anybody there. South, I guess St. Pete was just absolutely underwater. Hey, but they got plenty of money in the city budget to fix that stormwater issues there. Oh, wait a minute.
Oops.
Monty also says, glad to see the Rays prospects that we didn't trade to try to win have really panned out. Well, we've gotten some. Driscoll came up and got a hit the other night. Junior Caminero is doing fantastic. A couple of these guys have shown a little bit. The guys they traded, like Paredes and everybody else, not doing much either. Rick says, JP saying schism over and over is flaunting his A&M degree. Yes, my vocabulary is voluminous.
Not voluptuous?
It is that as well. It's that as well. Christopher Cole says, heck, in today's world, Bucko Bruce would be winking at another male pirate.
Huh.
Yeah. He'll be winking at the Patriot. The old Patriot, yeah. Right?
Wow.
Mike Stover says, please don't bring back Mertz. I think there's a lot of Gator fans that are with you, my friend. What else we got? Give Todd a break. Ravens trail by 10 with 1 timeout left out of 3 quarters. I forget the context of that.
Mm-hmm.
Which Todd are we giving a break now?
Oh, when I was talking about the timeouts, the prop bet on his timeouts, probably.
Yeah. Just, be a little bit more aggressive this year. That's all we're asking. Says, JP, you need an offshore guy. Ask Otani's interpreter. Damn, how quickly that story disappeared. Shohei, 50-50 guy. How about that? God, we haven't talked any baseball. There's a reason. God, I can't even watch the Rays games anymore. They're so boring. Oh, my God. It's terrible. But Shohei's having a hell of a season. You got a pick? Mr. Rangers fan, world champions, defending world champs
that are missing the playoffs.
Yeah,
to win it all.
Yeah. Dodgers. How do you pick against the Dodgers?
Phillies.
Phillies?
Give me the Phillies.
I'd love to see a Phillies Dodgers, kind of a contrast in styles, South Philly against the flash and dash of the
lights of LA.
Lights of LA. That sounds
MLB would love that too, because there's two of your biggest markets.
Oh, they would love that. How about Schwarb? Was it Schwarb's the other day that had 3 home runs?
Yeah.
Wow. 3 home run days, 6 RBIs.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah.
I like the Phillies.
Wow.
And I never pick a Philadelphia team for anything, ever.
That Phillies team is kind of likable, though,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If anything can be likable in Philly, that's about it.
It's the Phillies, right?
It's the Phillies. All right. Thank you guys for jumping in here. We really appreciate it. All right. Here comes your USF Bulls stampeding their way into Tuscaloosa. It's a 7:00 kick. Look, I mean, I want to pick the Bulls. I'm definitely taking the 31 points. I think they'll score. Byron Brown is too good. Now, their offensive line last year was ranked 123rd in offensive line grade last year. They brought back 6 of the 7 linemen who played at least 300 snaps. I mean, they should be better, but they're still the same guys. So that worries me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Abdur Rahman Yassin from Purdue showed out really well in the first game. He's had a great camp. Gives him a little bookend to Sean Atkins in terms of wide receivers. Naquan Wright, terrific back. They've got some really good backs. I think they can score. I'm still worried about this USF defense. I think it's definitely better. But, man, did you watch Alabama run the football last week? Did you watch them throw the football last week? I mean, they were freaking really, really good.
And who they played Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they're not bad.
No, they've been really good. I mean, for their level, they've been about on level. But, they've beaten USF most times they played. So, I mean, if you just go by that, 63-0, like, ouch, babe. That's a lot. That's a lot. So, I mean, I don't want to go crazy, but I think this is a great experience for this Bulls team that's got a lot. My number one thing is don't get hurt, boys. Don't get hurt. Don't. I mean, you heard Scott Carter talk about this for the Gators. They lost 4 or 5 starters last week. I mean, against Miami. That's a killer. I mean, it's one thing to lose a game, but to start losing players at that level, that is not good. Alex Golish has talked a very confident game this week, a very confident game. That 17-3 loss last year where they kind of hung around with Alabama, I think certainly gives them some confidence. But, Jalen Milroe is just a different cat, and he was a different cat after that game. This is a different offense for him. He seemed to be comfortable week 1. It's just a tough spot to walk into, but I think it's a great opportunity for USF. It's a 7:00 game. A lot of people will be watching it. Kalen DeBoer, though, I think he's on a mission to show everybody that, he can take Alabama to the next level, just like Saban did. So we'll see how this one goes, but I think they can keep it within 31.
If USF has a chance here, again, it's a long shot. And USF offensive line isn't gonna overpower the Alabama defensive line, but I think with the system though, in USF system, they can get chunk yards from time to time on the ground.
Yeah. And
I can see that happening here, which means, the first couple of drives, I think USF could score. And if they can just keep the ground game going, I think they could, run some time off the clock and keep the Alabama offense off the field. Then I can see good things happen. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I can certainly see this game being closer than the 31.5 or 31 that it is on the betting line. But it could be entertaining, I think, from a USF standpoint, if they can run the ball a little bit.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take the points. We did our picks yesterday in terms of college football, but I'm not putting a whole lot of cash on this one. I feel like DeBoer is going to run it up if he gets a chance to do so. And that would be, if you get coaches that just want to score to prove a point, unlike Bill O'Brien last week, who cried, I'm trying to get the over here, Bill. College football, we don't take a knee. We stick it in the end zone because everybody looks at the numbers. All right, dude. Everybody looks at the scores at the end of the year. No one's going back to say, oh, they took a knee against Florida State or could have scored 35 points. No, you put the points on the board so everybody sees the score. That's the way it works in college football. And so when I'm betting overs, that's what I'm asking for, and asking for FSU to score maybe more than freaking 13 points.
The last 31-point spread game that I watched last week, Texas Tech and Abilene Christian. Did you see any of this game? I know you didn't.
I did not, but I saw the score and I was like, what the hell's going on with Texas Tech?
Abilene Christian was going for a 2-point conversion to win the game with no time left on the clock. Very similar to what would have happened with Ravens Chiefs last night if that was a touchdown. And the quarterback, Mateen, gets sacked to end the game. By the way, half of that Abilene Christian staff, their head coach, their quarterback, a lot of players are ex-Texas Tech guys.
Oh.
So those two schools are very, very connected. And Mateen used to be quarterback for Tech. Baron Morton's up and coming. He's finally getting a chance to start this year for Tech. But both those quarterbacks freaking balled, man. Mateen had like 506 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. It was ridiculous. But that's the last 31-point dog game that I watched. And let's hope that USF Alabama maybe kind of is that close.
Well, I hope so.
52-51 was the total.
So who's Abilene Christian playing this week, and how do we get down on that one?
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep up with it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always interesting. The first week of college football, some of these teams come out like you never. And by the way, not for nothing, I think Georgia Tech and Boston College are pretty good football teams. I think they'll both win at least 7 games, maybe 8 or 9. And I'm not giving any. As you saw on the Tuesday show, we gave no quarter to the FSU team. They're bad. They're horrible. But I'm hoping they can bounce back. And by the way, I can't get any intel on who's taking the first team snaps in Tallahassee at this point. I tried,
really?
Guys. Yeah, the people, and I don't. The word is from Pat Burnham and some others that during the media portion they weren't really showing anything. So, again, if he doesn't change quarterbacks next week against Memphis. They're going to lose, number one. They're going to lose.
Yeah. And Abilene Christian takes on the University of West Georgia Wolves.
The West Georgia Wolves?
Yep. In Abilene.
What's the spread?
I can't find one. I was looking.
Yeah, it probably isn't one.
I can't freaking find anything on it. It's on ESPN Plus if you want to watch it.
So is the USF game. I got to make sure I got ESPN Plus too, so I can watch that game on Saturday.
Yep.
That's going to be good. All right. Oh, the Colorado game. We talked a little bit about that.
Yes.
Texas, Michigan. We hit that. FAMU. UCF, Sam Houston State. That should be a runaway. We had Scott Carter on talking UF versus Samford. UF's got a lot of injuries starting at the quarterback position. But can you imagine if they lose to Samford? Oh my. Then they might. I don't think it's good.
Might be a riot.
I don't think it's good to pull the plug midseason on any coach. But at that point, that would not be pretty. That would not be pretty. All right. Anything else that we missed? Jalen Ramsey just became the top paid corner in the football.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, he's a good player. But 3-year extension worth $24.1 million per year. All right. You better start balling.
He's on the downtick, right, for his career?
I think he is, yeah.
But still, you want to keep him happy.
Yeah. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention here. There's legal BS. The judge in the House versus the NCAA case. There was a $2.78 billion preliminary settlement. Well, she just pushed it back and basically told the two sides to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
So, I don't know exactly what this means. I've just seen a little bit, saw it before the show, but there was a lot of people moving forward with that preliminary settlement and how things were going to change and $20 million per team. And now all of that's up in the air. College football, man, just from a business side, it's just so ridiculous at this point.
It's a mess right now.
It really is a mess. So well, let's hope they get that stuff sorted out. All right, that'll do it for us today. Timmy, thank you for joining us. We got through it pretty good today. Thank God.
We did.
We gave you some good numbers. Hopefully you guys go to the bank this weekend on those prop bets. We'll reboot on Monday. I'll be watching all college football tomorrow, all day Saturday. The noon is Texas, Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we started off right away. And won't be watching college game day anymore. I'm out.
It's not entertaining.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We will obviously be with you after the Bucs game on Sunday. Peter Blake and I will be doing a post-game show right here on these channels. It's 4:30 game, so probably we'll be hitting about 8 o'clock for your post-game show. Taking calls too, so jump on in. We'll be doing it live from the field after the game. We'll see you next then, and also on Monday morning. Out. Right?